Southern California has long been a place to find an escape. Maybe that's why Porsche has been riding a wave of devotion since the late 60s here. But while other old cars from that time go to junkyards, old Porsches go to museums. But first, they stop at CPR Classic.
So we were founded in 1972 up in Manhattan Beach, and with my father and his brothers. And essentially the place started as just a Porsche service center. Because back then, of course, these cars weren't in need of restorations. They were just normal cars, you know. And the company just evolved over the years into a restoration center. We started with 356s as they became more valuable and needed restorations. And then 911 started to come into play probably 20 years ago. And as the values have really increased over the last 10 years or so, it's just expanded the business miraculously. I mean, we tripled in size.
Growth is obvious as brother-in-laws Dylan Doherty and Stephen Culver give me a tour of their Porsche compound that now takes up several buildings at 2 facilities in Fallbrook, California.
We were at about maybe 20, 30 cars total capacity in '08, and now we're sitting at about, I think, 120 or so.
That's right. Over 100 Porsches at varying stages of restoration, all in one place.
In fact, this one has floors now, but before you'd look in there and you'd be like, I can see the ground, oh my God.
Yeah. The reality is we set a standard for ourselves a long time ago, and cars that we've built have performed unbelievably well, and we've set records at auctions with our restoration cars.
But in just 2 minutes with these guys, you understand it's about way more than auction price. It's about the love of these vehicles and realizing that this passion is shared by others. A passion that families share between generations.
They're entrusting us with, the legacy of the car, with the nostalgia of the car. They trust us to take care of every single little bit of it. I mean, for example, there's a car that came in and it had this like Grateful Dead 70s, just very, very hippie style decal in the rear window, and we have not touched that. That rear window has been protected. So there's all these little things that we take, the steps that we take to really, make sure that these legacy cars are properly, venerated.
And this veneration takes time. Porsches that need a complete makeover may be worked on for over a year or more.
It's like sending a kid to boarding school for a year.
Something like that, yeah.
Hopefully you get them back better than they were before.
Well, we guarantee you'll get them back, but we don't know how long, It just depends on the car,
I mean, that car has over 1,000 hours of body work in it. And we're still not quite done.
There's a flat expectation of what we would consider a CPR certified restoration to be, and we can never deviate from that level of finish. It's what's made us.
Oh my.
So this is the showroom.
A step into the CPR sale room is, well, jaw-dropping.
There's an assortment of highly original cars in here that we've sourced, purchased.
But there was one car, not in the sales room, that belonged in a museum. A museum that had a track and long, winding roads. That car, the CPR ST.
This car is my pride and joy. Someone else's money paid for it, but this one was a collaboration between myself and the client, and it was an absolute blast to go through building the entire car with him.
A blast could be an accurate way to describe this car on an open road.
The whole concept, it was to build a really righteous, using correct period parts hot rod. And it culminated into a car that is as gorgeous or more gorgeous than any other custom car I've ever seen, and it drives unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. It culminated into a masterpiece.
Here, art is in the hands of the steering wheel holder.
It may look like the Mona Lisa, but there's more to it. There's more depth to it. This is the Mona Lisa that has that little bit of a smile, but the smile's not a smile, it's a smirk. And she wants to be taken out for a night on the town.
You guys should be proud.
Yeah, thank you.
And you'll weep when it leaves for good.
It used to be the background on my phone, but I had to change it just because I was afraid that, having that as a leftover, I'd have to call the guy and be like, can you send me a picture?
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm a little bit worried about that. So I already changed it. I'm already beginning the process of moving on. I think I'm in the second stage of grief.
For if you love it, let it go. And let it find back roads with no one watching and no posted speed limits. Luckily for the family at CPR Classic, At least they have the other 119 Porsches to take care of.